Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. A law professor and former chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, has said that the Court of Appeal has reportedly reached out to lawyers involved in the Kano State governorship election case to return the certified true copy of the judgment. This is serious. Now, the Court of Appeal created a confusion in its judgment as it resolved all the issues in the appeal in favor of the appellant, that's Governor Kabir Yusuf of the New Nigerian People's Party, and set aside the ruling of the Kano Governorship Election Tribunal, which sacked the governor. The appeal court had also ordered the All Progressive Congress to pay Governor Yusuf 1 million naira. According to the court document, the appeal court set aside the ruling of the election tribunal in the petition of the APC. In another breath, the court still dismissed the appeal for lacking in merit. That's why this judgment is said to have put the Nigerian Court of Appeal in a quagmire. Now, a reputable lawyer and former chairman of Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, said he heard from reliable sources within the ranks of the lawyers of Kano State government who had already received the certified true copies that the Court of Appeal allegedly is telling them to return the CTC back. Now, because of the controversy generated by this Kano matter, where the courts of appeal appear to have two different judgments in the same matter, it has generated a lot of reactions. And one of those that reacted is Professor Chidi Odinkalu. In his reaction, he said that what this has exposed is the high level of decay of the Nigerian judicial system. And he said that the only way to understand what happened in the appeal court, the only way to understand the contradiction in the appeal court ruling was probably that the court changed the judgment after the judges had concluded deliberations. And he said, that's writing on his verified X account, now known as Twitter, now known as X. Professor Chidi Odinkalu said, when we say the judiciary is corrupt, people wonder how so. People wonder how so. He said the Court of Appeal in the Kano judgment case resolved all the issues in favor of the appellant and against the first respondent. Yet, it found the appeal lacking in merit and liable to be dismissed. Explain, he put it in exclamation mark. How do you explain this absurdity? And himself is a professor of law. How do you explain this absurdity? If a professor of law of the caliber of Professor Chidi Odinkalu, they understand what these people did. Of course, he understood what it's all about. He said it's all boiled down to judicial corruption that he in particular had been hammering on. He had been one of the lone voices in the wilderness from the judiciary, hammering about the judicial corruption from top to bottom in the recruitment of judges and everything else. Where he has said severally about the cronyism in the recruitment process. But we'll get to that later. Let us concentrate on what he had to say. Now, before we go into that, we are in the holiday season. We are entering the time when people reward themselves for hard work they have done over the past 12 months. You want to celebrate your family member, you want to change your phone, you want a new gadget. Now, you can click on the link below. You can be able to get Techno Camon, you can be able to get Samsung Galaxy Infinix Smart 7 and Techno Spark 10. All of this, if you click on the link below at Jumia, they will give you 40% off the normal price because you connected through this channel. Thank you and God bless you. Now let's continue with what Chidi Odinkalu was talking about. He said, the only way to understand or explain this is that the Court of Appeal changed the judgment after they had concluded deliberation. If this does not persuade people as to how bad things are, I don't know what will. Let me take this again so that you understand the enormity of what we are facing in this country. What Professor Odinkalu said. And he should know. He's a highly respected lawyer. He's a professor of law. He said, the only way to understand or explain this is that the Court of Appeal changed the judgment after they had concluded deliberations. If this does not persuade people as to how bad things are, I don't know what will. I'm hearing this evening that the court has been asking the lawyers to return the judgment for correction in quotes. But this does not fall within the ambit of the sleep rule. This is judicial corruption on the face of the record. End of quote. Professor Chidi Odinkalu. So what Professor Chidi Odinkalu is alleging is that information he has gotten from reliable sources close to those who represented Kano State Governor Kabir Yusuf at the Court of Appeal, and who are now in possession of the certified true copy of the result of the judgment, which invariably shows that Kabir Yusuf is the duly elected governor of Kano State. They have been told to return the CTC copies that they had collected. But Professor Odinkalu, a professor of law, is saying that they shouldn't return it. From what I understand from what he said, they can't return it because this is not within the ambit of the slip of rule. In law they have what they call slip of rule, where a judgment was delivered maybe out of typographical error. In fact, I have had cases where that kind of thing happened. I remember the case involving the All Progressive Grand Alliance, okay? And I think with their first national chairman, Chief Sokoria, where a judgment had to be taken back to the Supreme Court because of a typographical mistake that was made. Okay? And the Supreme Court later recalled that document should be brought back because of that error and all kind of thing. That kind of thing do happen. That's the kind of thing that Odinkalu is saying here. You can do that. But he said this matter does not fall under the sleep rule. It doesn't fall under the slip rule. It doesn't fall under the rule where you can return for correction. Because there was no typographical error. It was the clear judgment of the Court of Appeal. In other words, if these people had reached out to Odinkalu, as he said, I'm sure that he would have given them the legal advice, even if it is pro bono, that they shouldn't return it, because it doesn't fall under the ambit of the slip rule. Indeed, what he said is that it falls under the ambit of judicial corruption. And what a sad verdict on our judiciary. That is why when people talk about that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to bring investors, how do we bring investors in a country where the judiciary are not reliable? You mean an American, a British, a Canadian, a Chinese will bring $200 million in Nigerian business environment, and when he had a problem with his Nigerian partners or whatever, then he cannot be sure of getting judgment from Nigerian courts, because judgment in Nigeria is just like what we are witnessing in Kano Election Petitions Tribunal, or in the situation of the Kano election petition matter, where justice is for the highest bidder. And it shouldn't surprise you, we have a long history of foreigners that came to invest in Nigeria, and because of corruption, they are in jail in their own country, but their partners in crime in Nigeria are working free. There were issues, I know about a particular issue that involved Shell, and all these oil companies, Italians and what have you. Some Americans who are involved, it has to do with oil in Niger Delta. Some Americans who are involved, and the Europeans, Italians, they have spent, some of them 5 years, 6 years in jail, because American law does not encourage American citizens to do business in a country and then give bribe in that country. If they found out that you participated in something like that, you go to jail. But in Nigeria, it is tolerated. Those who were indicted with the Americans I'm talking about the oil deal that went bad in Nigeria. The Nigerians that were involved at the time, they are all going ahead doing their thing. Nobody is disturbing them. In fact, if you ask EFCC about them, the EFCC will even declare them clean people. But those they corrupted, those that they flew in to give suitcase of dollars, in Nigeria, nothing happened to them. But they are in jail in America, in Europe. They have suffered losses. So when you have this kind of situation, why do you think any reasonable person will bring his dollars to come and invest in Nigeria? Any serious one? The kind of ones that will come are those that are ready to do deal with Nigerian businessmen and swindle the country. And those who are coming are those who are from countries that does not care about corruption. In fact, their government even empowered them to corrupt Nigerian politicians, since Nigerian politicians are already very corrupt, so they induce them and get mouth-watering contracts ahead of the Americans and the British. So this is a bad testimony to the Nigerian courts, to the Nigerian to the friends of Nigeria and those who want to invest in Nigeria. It's a bad testimony to show to them. And it's a bad testimony of Nigerian judiciary that this is the best they could offer. This is the best they could offer. 2 judgments. And they are calling for a recall. Strangely, nobody is talking about that judge that read the verdict in the open court. Nobody is talking about him. Nobody is calling that he should be sanctioned. Nobody is calling that those who did this to the image of Nigeria should be dealt with by the NHRC and others. But would they do that? Would they do anything to them? It's quite unlikely. But we are waiting, Nigerians are waiting to see the final outcome of this matter. But know it that according to Professor Chidi Odinkalu, the CTC of the Kano Judgement given to the lawyers of the governor of Kano State are being demanded back. And you know what that portends. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. And once again, we are nearing the end of the year. You want to reward yourself, you want to get a new phone, you can get a new Techno Common 20, you can get Samsung Galaxy, you can get Infinite Smart, Techno Smart Spark. You can get all this if you click the link below. If you click the link below and you purchase from Jumia, you are going to get 40% off because you click from this channel. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.